Welcome! This video is dedicated towards healing and developing our Divine Feminine energy. Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine energies exist in all things and beings, ourselves included. Regardless of gender, it represents the right brain, connected to intuition, abstract thinking, fluidity, and creativity. The Divine Feminine is receptive and passive, focused on being rather than doing. It is one of the basic energies that are at the core of the principles the universe needs to function along the Divine Masculine. It embodies water energy, being fluid, nourishing, creative, trusting, and intuitive. Water holds memories and is all about our ability to change, to flow, and overcome obstacles by either patiently eroding them or sweeping them away in a storm, as well as embodying Earth, the element of stability, foundations, strength, growth, prosperity, and fertility. The Earth is the womb from which all things spring, forever supportive, nurturing, and grounding. This element also brings a sense of care and reliability. It governs our basic needs, as well as our emotional security and comfort. The easiest way to comprehend its energies is to consider that the Divine Feminine is the subconscious mind, our soul, our dreams, and our inner reality, while the Divine Masculine is the conscious mind, our current incarnation, our story, and our outer reality. Consciousness is the one and only reality, not figuratively, but actually. This reality may, for the sake of clarity, be likened unto a stream which is divided into two parts, the conscious and the subconscious. In order to intelligently operate the law of consciousness, it is necessary to understand the relationship between the conscious and the subconscious. The conscious is personal and selective. The subconscious is impersonal and non-selective. The conscious is the realm of effect. The subconscious is the realm of cause. These two aspects are the male and female divisions of consciousness. The conscious is male, the subconscious is female. The conscious generates ideas and impresses these ideas on the subconscious. The subconscious receives ideas and gives form and expression to them. One is what is known, the other what is unknown. The best way to describe the Divine Feminine energy is to see it as our connection to the infinite source, God, the universe. Therefore, I find that the words that best describe this energy are being, integration, connection, intuition, and love. Let's dive a bit deeper into each of them. The Divine Feminine is the infinite being giving us life. Remaining in a state of being simply means that the Divine Masculine is grounded in the present moment, which is all there is and all there will ever be. The past and the future are both illusions, exclusive to linear views of time. The Divine Feminine only knows how to be. It's a passive energy, forever mirroring and unconditionally loving the Divine Masculine. This energy is a very deep, infinite ocean, making it hard to explain. When we say our Divine Feminine side, we are usually referring to our own subconscious mind and everything veiled within it. Our emotions, our memories, our inner society. However, as our awareness grows, so does our understanding of how deep it actually goes. Our past lives, our connection to the collective, to the planet and the stars, to our higher selves. There might not be an end to how far it actually goes. Since our soul chose this story, this present moment, as the best path for our experience, I personally recommend staying within the studies of the Divine Feminine that are mostly practical, which revolve around the subconscious mind and the practice of mindfulness. This is deep enough as it is, and there will be plenty of other incarnations dedicated to dive into this energy as we move into higher densities. My body and all its organs were created by the infinite intelligence in my subconscious mind. It knows how to heal me. Its wisdom fashioned all my organs, tissues, muscles, and bones. this infinite healing presence within me is now transforming every cell of my being, making me whole and perfect. I give thanks for the healing I know it's taking place at this time. Wonderful are the works of the creative intelligence within me.
What many people might not expect when they begin to study either the power of I am, the law of attraction, or the law of mirroring is that although the I am spoken or written by our conscious mind truly matter a lot, so do the ones generated by our emotional state, by our inner mental conversations, by our fragmented personas, even by each of our internal organs. We are an inner society, and every consciousness has a voice, a vote. The sum of all generates frequencies that will attract similar frequencies, thus generating our outer reality. Inner societies that are very fragmented and neglected will navigate chaotic outer realities, while inner societies that are more integrated with a deeper level of self-awareness are more likely to be a match to calmer and unified outer realities. To do so, we must turn our focus inwards and explore ourselves. To integrate something is to take it from the subconscious into the conscious and slowly heal it. The term filling our own cup is a metaphor for our healing journey. The cracks in the glass are a reference for our emotional wounds and mental fragmentation. When we heal most of our own cracks in the glass, it begins to fill and overflow, which means we can now maintain a very high vibration throughout most of the day, every day. Manifestation of our desires will also be much easier.
Sensation precedes manifestation and is the foundation upon which all manifestation rests. Be careful of your moods and feelings, for there is an unbroken connection between your feelings and your visible world. Your body is an emotional filter and bears the unmistakable marks of your prevalent emotions. Emotional disturbances, especially suppressed emotions, are the causes of all disease. To feel intensely about a wrong without voicing or expressing that feeling is the beginning of disease. Disease in both body and environment.
Connection and empathy are what truly define the divine feminine energy. We are connected to everything. Everything is a relationship. Some we are aware of, others are unknown to us. The higher our awareness, the more we can perceive how we are in a relationship to all that is around us and within us. The people in our lives, the personas within us, our current job, our feelings, our physical body, our emotional body, and so on. There is no end to it. Our limbic system, for example, locks away our severely traumatic memories in the amygdala, where they remain frozen in time until we find a therapy to safely access them. Therefore, both our amygdala have a consciousness, a vibration, and a set of I ams. They are very different from the ones from our conscious mind, and they do manifest themselves into our outer reality. Sometimes what we consider to be karma is a cry for help and attention from a part of us that we are no longer aware of. The divine masculine expands outwards, while the divine feminine contracts. In other words, the divine feminine expands inwards and integrates fragmentation by connecting to each child. This connection is something that takes a lot of practice. It's no different from the charisma and mindfulness necessary to talk to other people. But from personal experience, it's easier with a vibration of appreciation, more famously known as gratitude. When connecting to a fragment through meditation, it's very tempting to try to override their perspective with our own. But they are fragmented in the first place because they don't agree with our point of view or way of being. So let's listen, be present with them, show appreciation for their existence and all they do for us. It's better to integrate their perspective and emotions into our own instead of trying to change them or prove them wrong, which is actually gaslighting. In other words, trying to convince someone or a fragment that their reality is wrong or even not real is traumatic, and it's the opposite of integration. It will lead to further fragmentation. Instead, allow them to feel seen, heard, and appreciated. Many people in our outer world that annoy us or collide with us are likely a mirror to our inner fragments. The surprising part is that it's far easier to connect and get along with a fragment than with the actual person. Mostly because a person is a fellow co-creator with plenty of fragmented parts and personas of their own. Integrate the respective fragment, and that person will likely either live your life or act differently. They were a mirror to resentment. With that resentment now healed internally, the outer world will mirror that change.
Change your conception of yourself and you will automatically change the world in which you live. Do not try to change people. They are only messengers telling you who you are. Revalue yourself and they will confirm the change.
Regarding solipsism, a term related to the belief that we can only confirm our own existence and that everyone else might be just an illusion. That is not what we are talking about in this video. We aim to explain that we are co-creators of the collective reality, and we attract only fellow co-creators and situations that are a match to our personal energy, which is always shifting. At the self-inflated, lower levels of awareness, we lack empathy and can only see what we love or dislike about ourselves when we see the world or other people, even if we may be unaware that this is what is occurring. This is known as the law of reflection. When our awareness rises to the normal levels, what changes is that we begin to become aware of the psychological concept of projection, and at the higher levels we will develop the ability to perceive both the projection and the complex being behind it. The latter is what a relationship is truly about. The person will mirror us and aid our growth as a catalyst for self-awareness, while simultaneously giving us a chance to develop our empathy and our intuition, tools that are essential to truly connect with them at a deeper level, understanding them, which means taking care of them as we would take care of a part of ourselves. Empathy is the ability to connect to someone or something, and intuition is the ability to receive information from someone or something. However, they are sort of inseparable, since in order to receive intuitive tips, we need to feel connected to the sender of those tips. This is also why intuition and discernment are not the same. One is emotional and the other one is logical. Together they are the power couple of uncovering all hidden mysteries. As Carl Jung mentioned throughout his works,
knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of other people. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. Your visions will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes.
there are two types of connection across the universe, symbiotic or parasitic. One is the way of the positive polarity, service to others, and the other, the way of the negative polarity, service to self. Due to the law of polarity, there will always be a positive and a negative version of everything, as this allows the universe to expand. All types of symbiotic relationships are based upon a fair and mutual exchange of benefits. Consider how beneficial microorganisms and bacteria keep us healthy and fight off the prejudicial ones. In exchange, we shelter them. Therefore, natural intuition is the ability to receive information from everything and everyone we have a symbiotic connection with. For example, when in danger, our body often alerts us, even before we are aware of what is happening. Our not-so-nice personas will also frequently send us intuitive tips regarding reading people, since they are better trained at unlocking and discerning true motives. Our spirit guides and our higher self are more focused on sending us signs on how to follow the path of our soul's calling, or healing journey, or aligning with better timelines. Keeping in mind that every single being of the positive polarity will respect our free will and growth, let's consider spirit guides for a second. They will never shelter us from karma, lessons, or the consequences of our actions. Their goal is to help us grow, and karma is the biggest growth too. Likewise, they may help us achieve our dreams, but it's up to us to request that assistance and get there with our determination and skills. They will frequently aid us out of difficult or dangerous situations, but only after we use our natural intuition and discernment to fully comprehend what is happening and take action upon it. Not only that, but they can also hint that someone in our lives is up to no good, but they will allow us to train our own inner intuition, as well as see it with our own eyes and reach our conclusions. All their actions are based upon mutual growth, the same way a mentor learns while tutoring each student. Love and growth is what binds each relationship on the positive path. So if something feels fear-based, one-sided, manipulative, or enabling, I would recommend questioning it to find the truth behind it. Love is the pink flame of the threefold flame, the one most connected with the divine feminine, with the gold flame being a perfect unity of both.
I am always the majestic power of pure love that transcends every human concept, that opens the door to me, to the light within its heart.
We should never underestimate the importance of having the mind focused on and connected to the heart space regularly. Many authors believe the heart to be the true organ that rules our emotional intelligence, as well as our electromagnetic aura, and it is literally connected to every single cell within us. As the Law of One mentions,
the center of heart, or green ray, is the center from which third density beings may springboard, shall we say, towards infinite intelligence. Blockages in this area may manifest as difficulties in expressing what you call universal love or compassion.
Hence making the practice of heartfulness the perfect start on our journey to train a state of being, integration, connection, intuition, and love. This is a process that becomes easier when both our divine energies are balanced. Therefore, I welcome everyone to also pay attention to the complementary Divine Masculine video. See you soon.